Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Cabral Concept. We are about to get started with our weekend Cabral House Calls. That's the name that I affectionately give them for us going out into the community. This is our version of being able to simply get together, see what questions are on people's minds, what we can do in order to answer those questions and advance people forward. That's really what it's all about. It's not just about giving information. It's about how do we advance forward. So how do we move forward towards our weight loss goals, our wellness goals, our anti-aging goals, and really everything in between. Like anything that you can imagine dealing with health, fitness, that's what we tackle over at the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute and really a lot of our work online. So always excited to be able to get in these questions. I think we're running about 6 weeks or so behind. This first question is coming in from May 5th. And let's see. Today we are on episode 1597 and it is June 20th. Yeah, so just about 6 weeks, 7 weeks behind or so. That's typically where we are, between 6 and 8 weeks looking back on our community's questions. So again, you can get nearly same-day answers to those questions at cabralsupportgroup.com. And of course, if you're willing to wait, I'm happy to answer your question on an upcoming Cabral House Call. All those questions can be asked at stephencabral.com/ask Cabral, and they're answered in the order that they come in. All customer service questions, these questions that come in, they're not looked at for about 6 to 8 weeks. Any questions about orders, you can always just email support@equilibriumnutrition.com. All right, now let's get to our questions. The first question today is from Nayeli. Nayeli asks, "Hello, doctor. I'm 29 years old, and I've lived on topical steroids for eczema. In the last 4 years, I had sudden various health issues, gut issues, H. pylori, severe urticaria, severe allergies due to foods, severe spread of eczema, skin rashes on my entire body and around my eyes, severe swelling around my eye, glands, and nodes around my neck. Many rounds of antibiotics for about 4 years. After some research, I figured it might be due to long-term use of topical steroids. Are you familiar with topical steroid withdrawal? Do you work with patients with going through this? I am 4 weeks without steroids and my skin is flaring really bad. I would really like to start healing my body from the inside out. I don't know what else to do or who to go to for help. Thank you for your time." Nayeli, I am happy to help. We work with these particular skin issues all the time, whether it's eczema, psoriasis, cradle caps with babies, you name it, we are looking at what are those possible reasons. So, just to let you know, Nayeli, for sure, this question has been answered before on the podcast. You can go to stephencabral.com/podcast and just type in eczema. And you'd be able to see all sorts of answers on different house calls of what I gave. But of course, I'm happy to answer yours as well. So there's two parts to this. One is that you have I can't give you and won't give you a diagnosis, a treatment, or a cure, or especially over a podcast. But here's what we're looking at. We're looking at two things. One is you are correct about the steroid withdrawal. When your body is used to using corticosteroids, remember, these aren't anabolic steroids that we would think of to kind of build up your muscles. We would think of the opposite. Corticosteroids are used as an anti-inflammatory. So when you stop taking anti-inflammatories, well, you allow then that inflammation to finally, be out there for you to see it. But really what we're looking at is a much deeper issue, most likely. And that's because you've been on antibiotics for 4 years. You have H. pylori, you have all sorts of food sensitivities, you have gut-based issues. So just keep in mind that most likely, and most skin issues really are related to gut-based function and stress. There's no doubt about that. But really, we want to look at gut-based dysfunction. There's a couple ways that we can go about helping you. And my highest recommendation is to run our gut-based tests. So that is the Candida metabolic and vitamins test, the bacteria and parasite stool test, and the IgG food sensitivity test. If you've already run those and you already know that you have a yeast overgrowth, bacterial overgrowth, H. pylori, etc., well, you could simply either work with one of our health coaches by emailing support@equilibriumnutrition.com, or just going to equilibriumnutrition.com, clicking on the health coaching tab, or you can actually begin the CBO protocol with the citracetyl drops, and you'd be using the mastic gum for other stomach-based issues as well. So again, we don't provide treatments and we're not providing cures to things. What we do is we look at things from an underlying root cause level. And again, we've worked with many people like yourself and we'd be happy to help. So for anybody else, there's your answer for eczema and most skin-based issues. All right, Anna's up next. I was wondering if you could give us your opinion on the potential side effects of abortion considering both medical and surgical ways. I found that I'm pregnant, and even though I'd hate to undergo such drastic procedure, I really don't have any other option at the moment. Is medical better than surgical? I'm in the middle of the CBO protocol due to yeast overgrowth, and I'd hate to have all of the work that I've done so far in healing my gut to go to waste. I really don't know what to do. Please help. Well, Anna, thank you for writing in, and I know the difficult position that you find yourself in right now. So what I'd like to say is that this is not an expertise of mine, and I really have to let people know that when this is outside of my scope of function. And unfortunately, I don't have a good answer for you. I don't know how to help you with this particular issue, except to say that if any antibiotics are used, anything that affects the gut, well, then of course you may want to either re-begin the CBO protocol or simply add back on, another month or something to make sure that you are finishing this process that you've started. So I apologize, Anna. I don't believe that I'm qualified to be able to answer that question for you. Dana's up next. I have read the Rain Barrel Effect, and my husband and I have both done the 7-day detox earlier this year. My husband was recently diagnosed with esophageal cancer. He's currently doing the standard chemo radiation treatments. My question is, would there be any benefit to him doing any of the functional lab test, or would he need to wait until he's finished with the cancer treatments? That's a great question. And I would actually recommend waiting until he's done with the cancer treatments, because what's going to happen and what you may find is that there is some now leaky gut or intestinal permeability. There's potentially a change in hormones. So because I want to make sure that we're supporting the both of you as best we can, I would probably recommend continuing on with a good daily foundational protocol like we do recommend, but of course checking with his oncologist. And then I would say, yes, let's wait till he's done with the treatments and then begin to get that body back into balance again. Thank you, Dana. Molly's up next. Hi, I'm beginning the sensitive gut protocol. And Dana, I just want to say, and again, but I feel like you really have this. I get this feeling like everything's good. So I just want to make sure that you and your husband are good, and any support that we can give you, we want to be able to give you, especially when going through cancer. So I don't want to glaze over that or graze over that, whatever the correct terminology is, but I have good feelings that, you both of you are going to be doing great. So I hope that's the case, and keep it on and let us know if we can help. All right, Molly's up next. Hi, I'm beginning the sensitive gut protocol in a couple days, along with the supplements. A couple of quick questions. Is popcorn allowed? I used organic corn and coconut oil typically, and what about red wine occasionally? I've had the organic acids test already and the hair test. I was told on my coaching call that I don't have yeast, but that protocol would still optimize health. Great podcast, super helpful, thanks. Okay, Molly, happy to help. So it sounds like you're doing the CBO protocol. The sensitive gut guide comes along with it. Popcorn would not be allowed for at least the first 3 to 4 weeks. And the reason is that it's actually quite difficult to digest. I know it's kind of like one of those things that people love, but actually on the sensitive gut guide, for the first 3 weeks, we're getting rid of all of those snacks and other things as well. And that's typically when you would have popcorn, is maybe like post-dinner or an afternoon snack. We actually want time to digest the food after breakfast, digest the food after lunch, digest the food after dinner, and then really that's it. So, that's my recommendation to you, is that no popcorn, and just be careful with that. You don't want to start adding a lot of popcorn in, especially on a daily basis, because I know that's kind of a snack people like to get in there. Once a week, okay, no problem. But again, wait the 3 to 4 weeks, and then the coconut oil and the popcorn might be okay. But again, you want to see how your gut reacts when you put it back in there. Definitely chew it up really well. It's not the best thing for your gut, that's for sure. Okay, is red wine occasionally? Well, sure. After 3 weeks to 4 weeks, you could have red wine once a week as long as you don't feel any bloating or reactions from that red wine. Remember, the CBO protocol is not just about nutrition and supplements and things like that. It's actually getting you to be better in tune with your body. That's what it's all about. So, good question, Molly. Sophie's up next. Hi there, my name is Sophie. I've had a rash that has appeared every now and then on my face, usually around the outer crease of my eyes and cheeks. I initially thought it might be related to Candida as I was constantly getting thrush. So I did the Cabral Candida protocol. It was fantastic. It's been over a year and a half, and I haven't had thrush since. That, by the way, is called the CBO protocol, but I like that people give it different names. I really do. But the rash keeps coming back. I tried the Adrenal Soothe and had no results there. I noticed that it flared up when I was warmer and drank coffee or consumed alcohol. Oh, all right. I get it now. All right. So let me see if I can answer this for you. Well, you go on and say it might be a parasite reaction or something related to stress of the adrenals. I was trying to get pregnant later this year, but I'm conscious about my finances. When I look at the test kits, I'm overwhelmed which one to choose. I know I'm estrogen dominant, but I haven't done the cortisol and adrenal tests. What lab testing would you recommend? As I see, there's 2 hormonal lab tests. I don't really understand the difference. Can you please advise the best course of action for me? Much love, Sophie. All right. Thanks for the love, Sophie. We appreciate it. I appreciate it. Okay. So the difference between the 2 labs is one is the stress sleep hormone-based test. The other one's the stress mood metabolism test. They both include the estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, DHEA, and 4-cortisol. Okay. Now, the stress mood metabolism test includes vitamin D testing, 4 numbers for your thyroid, which are T4, T3. Both of those are the free form. TSH, TPO, and it includes insulin and hemoglobin A1C. So it's a really in-depth test. I think it's $100 more and definitely worth it if you can't afford it. I know there's a cost to all of these, of course. Here's the thing. You could actually do a call with our health coaches. It's the best deal running, in my opinion. It's $49. And it's not a health coaching call, but it's a lab selection call. So for about 5 minutes or so, 10 minutes, you're telling the health coach what your biggest health issues are. Then after that, the health coach is just making sure they understand what's going on with you, and they recommend the best 1, 2, or however many labs you're looking to do for you. So they give them to you in the order of importance. Hundreds of people have now decided to do that, and we just debuted it just probably 2 months ago. So excited that many people are really understanding that you get the $49 back. So basically, you pay $49 for the call, and then we just give you the $49 right back to purchase any of the labs that you would like, and especially based on your unique perspective of where you're at. Okay, so that's that on the labs. What I would also say to you is this, is that it's been over a year and a half and you haven't had any thrush. So that's great. But the rash keeps coming back. Okay. So we might look at something else. We actually might look at this as a histamine-based reaction. I have many podcasts on histamines. So if you want to go to stevencabral.com/podcasts and just type in histamine, then you can find those previous shows as well. It will give you kind of an elimination diet of which foods to eliminate, alcohol, coffee, you just named a bunch. Those are all basically foods that could exacerbate histamines. So one of the reasons why I do mention that is that you named foods, alcohol, coffee, etc., that could be causing this. Now, it still goes back to potentially an imbalanced immune system. It still goes back to either high or low cortisol. So, the lab testing is a very good idea. And then, of course, maybe just going on a lower histamine diet for 3 weeks. It takes about 3 weeks for the body just to start to balance. And that is why we typically recommend 3 weeks for most of our elimination-based diets. So again, if you're keeping a food journal, if you're kind of looking at how it's happening, for sure you'll be able to work on this. And again, you mentioned when you get warmer or hot, this happens. And again, that can be histamine-induced, mast cell-induced as well. Thanks for the question. Amanda's up next. My 18-year-old daughter, first 2 days of her period, have become so unbearable she wants to get on the pill. I know it's not natural and not a great choice in the short term. I'm afraid it will exacerbate anxiety and depression, as well as have long-term effects. She's active and healthy, eats pretty well for a teen, doesn't drink coffee or eat a lot of sugar. Over the past 3 months, her cramps have gotten worse, and she feels nauseated, has even thrown up a few times. I'd love to hear what you recommend. Thank you in advance. All right, thanks, Amanda, for writing in. So a couple things. I would love for you to potentially look at seed cycling with your daughter. If you're doing smoothies in the morning, which I hope that you are with your daughter, then she can use the daily nutritional support for more B vitamins. She can use magnesium later in the day, especially at night. She could use the omega-3s, which are going to be very, very helpful. What else? She might try the daily probiotic support, and then she might try the estrogen balance nutritional supplement. So those are just places to get started. Again, I highly recommend working with one of our health coaches, but if that doesn't work for you, then at least I gave you a couple initial recommendations right there. All right. Again, if you're going to do a lab, Amanda, for your daughter, can't recommend enough the stress hormones, mood, and metabolism test. Just run that lab. I mean, you can run it during the first 2 days of her period if you want, but really we typically recommend it on days 19 through 21. We'll look at how high estrogen is in general. All right. Shima's up. Hey there, just wondering about your CBO protocol. It's 90 days. I'm wondering about the diet. Is it 90 days with absolutely no coffee or alcohol? Just trying to plan when I'll most likely stick to the diet. Is there a diet protocol that even comes with it? Thanks a lot. Okay, Shima, definitely check out, let me just even see if that's the shortcut. I hope that my team did this. I've got an amazing team, so I hope that they did. But let's go to equilibriumnutrition.com/CBO. Let's see if that does it. So everybody can just go to stevencabral.com/CBO. You just click on product description. We have hundreds of doctors, thousands of health coaches using this protocol with their patients and wellness clients all around the world. And I've been using it now in my practice it's been in its first version since about 2011, 2012, and its final version around 2015. We just changed the labels just about 3 months ago in the box. I mean, it works. There's nothing, in my opinion, that compares to it. And I've used everything, I've seen everything, and this is as scientific as you can get and as real-world friendly as you can get. So, huge advocate. It comes with everything you need. It comes with the 3 months. Basically, it's each month is different, the nutritional supplements, and it has to be. That's why it works so well. And then it comes with your supplements, meaning that part. It comes with the diet plan. So yeah, you get all of that, and you can still drink coffee on it. You're just eliminating alcohol for the first 3 weeks, and then no more than once a week after that. So hopefully that is helpful, but it is pretty detailed. I mean, the page is pretty detailed if you go to equilibriumnutrition.com/CBO. All right. Jade is up next. Hi, Stephen. I recently come across your podcast on Ayurveda in determining your dosha type. Do you offer assistance in determining individual dosha types? As I'd love some help determining mine. Thanks so much, Jade. Well, currently, Jade, anyone that is a private wellness client over on the Equilibrium Nutrition team, we do their dosha for them. So if they choose to, if they're a current private client, we may not be doing that in the future because it just depends on demand, because I'm the one who gives that. But at least for right now, as of June 21st or June 20th, you are able to do that. So as a private client, yes, in the future, we do plan to do it at a much larger scale, but that won't be till 2021 because again, I have to train other people and I have to oversee it just so I make sure that everyone gets their proper dosha. Hopefully that makes sense, Jade. For everybody else looking to learn about their body type, you can just go to stevencabral.com/podcasts. And there's a nice little image at the top. If you scroll around the images, you'll actually see all my podcasts just on Ayurveda. I'm definitely going to be ramping those back up in the future. Definitely stay tuned. I'll be talking a whole lot more about Ayurveda very soon. All right, let's get one more question for the day. It's from Lal, or L-A-L. Hi, Dr. Brawl. Let me start by saying how thankful I am to have found your podcast. I'm also very grateful for people like you that exist, who dedicate their lives to helping others. You're an amazing soul, and I wish you and your loved ones all the best, just as you wish that to everyone in the world and help us get there. Thank you so much. I hope to be where you are now in life at some point because my greatest wish is to help others, but to get there, I need to heal first, which brings me to my first question. This is going to be a long one, so brace yourself. Okay, so first of all, I just want to thank you for that. I mean, it's very, very kind. My life is dedicated truly to helping people heal. I mean, that's my greatest wish. And it's very simple. I went through extreme hardship when I was younger. It took me 10 years to get well. I want to help people do that within 12 to 16 weeks. That's my goal. I've always said that. I've never changed it. I've just been able to learn more and learn more and learn more. And now I feel like we're able to help people do that. And so thank you, Lal. I appreciate that. And I hope that you get to it too. And I know that you will. I mean, that's how we learn. We learn through essentially many of our own hardships or helping others. And I don't know if you're going to get to this, but we teach this at integrativehealthpractitioner.org. So Lal, if you want to go to integrativehealthpractitioner.org, we actually teach people how to be certified health coaches and help others as well. All right, let's get to your question. I've been listening to your podcast religiously for the past 2 months, going back to October's podcast already. I just want to keep going. There's so much information there. I want to start listening from the beginning, but I'm having trouble finding the first podcast. I tried different keywords in the search button, but somehow it shows so many that I cannot scroll to number 1. Could you give me any pointers on how to use the search button to get to the podcast? 1, 2, 3, etc. Continued in the next question. Oh, we have multiple questions. Oh, Lal, this is, it's only supposed to be 250 words. Okay, let me see if I can answer, if I can ad-lib this. So we have one can only stay within the box because I can't do a full consultation. So I want to apologize ahead of time, Lal, but I can't do a full consultation in the podcast. So let me see. It says you're 32 years old. You've been diagnosed with fibromyalgia, fighting debilitating symptoms since that you can remember. You've tried some different programs, including the medical medium. Even after listening to approximately 500 podcasts, I'm currently unemployed due to my fibromyalgia, so I can't afford any tests. All my money that I have goes to supplements. I'm currently taking, and she goes on through her supplements. What else do you recommend for fibromyalgia? Okay, last part of the questions. More questions following medical medium program. It says detoxify the liver. I've tried so much. Also, I'm sure I eat too many nuts per day, walnuts, any other vitamins and minerals. Okay, I know what you're saying. So, and again, everybody knows that I think Anthony Williams is great, medical medium, nothing but, great things to say. I don't do the same thing for each person. And again, that's not a slight on anyone. Again, when you're trying to help a lot of people, you kind of have like one protocol or so. I don't believe that fruits and just juicing and celery juice helps everyone. I did a podcast on that. I know that it doesn't because I work with many people that it didn't work for. And again, that's not a slight at all. I think he's great. Actually, I've spoken with him on the phone. Very, very smart. So nothing but respect, admiration, all of that for him as well. So, but let's go deeper. So when we're looking at fibromyalgia, we're really looking at an inflammatory-based issue. So now we have to ask ourselves, Lal, what's causing the inflammation? So that's where we have to go deeper. Now, it could be a heavy metal. It absolutely could be. But a lot of the time, what we're really looking at is this. And I did a podcast. If I can only work on 2 things, and I can only fix 2 things, it would be gut permeability and it would be stress. And in my opinion, just reading the question and obviously looking at what you go through, how could you not be stressed, right? So we're really looking at calming the central nervous system, right? So we can decrease the inflammation in the first place. And then we're looking at gut-based permeability. So I don't think, and this is the nice thing, I don't think that you're going to find a silver bullet with a nutritional supplement. So you should not be looking for that. So should you do something like the daily foundational protocol with omega-3s, with vitamin D, with all your B vitamins? Absolutely. Do I think you're going to get rid of it, taking curcumin or anything like that? I do not. Curcumin is to help as an anti-inflammatory. However, it's not figuring out why the inflammation is there in the first place. I would go on a more of a Mediterranean-based style diet. I would also look at, is it gut-based issues? I mean, if you could run one test, it would be the Candida metabolic and vitamins test. And if not, maybe you want to do the CBO protocol with the citricidal drops. I can't give you the answer because I don't have any of the labs. I don't know what the underlying root causes are, but I know for sure that everything has an underlying root cause. Fibromyalgia is one of those. I had fibromyalgia as well. Mine was mainly around my midsection. But I ended up finding that was gut related. So I fixed my gut-based issues and didn't have that fibromyalgia anymore. So I know what you're going through. I understand it. You're frustrated. There's no doubt about it. How could you not be? So if you can't run the lab test, you have to figure out, is it stress? Okay, if it's stress-based, what can we do to start to calm that central nervous system? And if it's gut-based, well, we know how to help you there. And that is with the CBO protocol. When in doubt, add those citricidal drops. And then, of course, using the daily foundation protocol. Hopefully that was helpful. Thank you so much, everyone, for writing in. I appreciate you. And don't forget, we'll be back tomorrow answering more of our community's questions. Before you go, I wanted to ask you this question. What if I could teach you in just a couple of hours how to transform your thyroid, hormones, adrenal, cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, weight loss, energy, mood, brain, pregnancy, anti-aging, or many other health-related issues? After 20 years in private practice, after seeing and overseeing 250,000 client appointments, I sincerely feel I have the real-world data and have found the answer you've been searching for. So what I've done is spent hundreds of hours of my own time refining what you need to know in order to uncover your underlying root cause health issues and then begin to rebalance the body and bring it back to a state of robust health and wellness. I'm going to teach you exactly what I do in my private practice so you can understand how you got here and now what you need to do in order to heal. You'll receive all of the important success checklists, protocols, and even ways to customize it to make the program fit your busy life. And you'll get all of this at a fraction of the price. Let me save you the time, money, energy, stress, and frustration of not knowing what to do next. Instead of reading dozens of books on the topic and seeing multiple practitioners, I will condense everything that you need to know in just a few hours of video tutorials that you can watch and listen to anywhere. Together, we will make this healing process an enjoyable one that you can take with you for the rest of your life. I wish you all of the best of health and happiness, and I hope to be able to guide you on your healing journey through my Health Results Accelerators. Simply choose the health imbalance you're currently suffering from, and by the end of today, you'll know what went wrong and how to get well again. I guarantee it. For details, head over now to stevencabral.com/courses.